is how simple he can be, and then to a point that you almost think it's very naive. For example, when the governess arrives and she just says, we have this flute. And she just says, how beautiful it is. And then the flute comes in. And she says, each day it seems more beautiful to me. And how beautiful, what's so special about Britain is how he can just, with one note, in other words, we're just singing each day, and then she says, it seems more beautiful to me. And just with this simple F sharp, it opens up a world of colors that just, like a new parfum, like a new odor, just spreads in front of us. And then all of a sudden there's a music that captivates us. And that's what's so incredible about Britain's music. There are great composers of opera, but there are very few who really understood text. Mozart understood text. Monteverdi understood text. Strauss understood text. And Britain understood text. And every little note and every shade just takes on a special nature. And he has this balance where he doesn't need, where other composers need an aria, he needs a note. And that's what's so magical about it.
And the turn of the screw, it's an amazing piece, it's an amazing opera.
It's an amazing opera, it's a horror story. It's a horror story at a time when the Victorian taste was all of a sudden to be moved. Here we had a society with very strict rules. And the horror novel was an important genre. And the genre was to, within the confines of a very regimented and very strict society, allow the passions and the fears and the emotions to come out. But in a way which was almost, it had to be, it's almost a very contained genre. And then, of course, Britain is writing much later. So he's taking this obscure but very precise mode of communication, putting it into the 20th century, when horror became even more tantalizing. And at the same time, he touches on the most important topic in all of English art, the innocence of youth. And he treats it with respect, with love, and with fear, tremendous fear. And that's what's so beautiful at all times. You're never quite sure to go with the governess. Is she innocent? Is she guilty? Is there something she's not telling us? What is her relationship with the children? What is really on her mind? And all these maybes and perhaps and all this psychological drama plays with the simplest notes and the simplest colors. It's a very small orchestra. It tells an extremely scary story. It is a horror movie, but put in a music that is so rapturous that we are pulled in with the beauty of the music.
12 musicians, but it never sounds like a chamber orchestra.
Because the musicians are given such soloistic roles that when they start, making a geschrei, it's loud. There's great amounts of percussion. The piano is loud, the flute is loud, and all of a sudden these very clear colors come out. So it's chamber music at times that sounds like a full orchestra. Britain had such a clear idea of how to manage all the instruments, and the way he weaves a clarinet that will play in 4 at the same time as a flute that plays in 6, and they're playing at the same time, so you have these different levels, and then you have this idea that the music is much louder than it really is, and much more full, much more rich. So this is a chamber opera. It is also a grand opera because it touches things on a grand scale, and it's one of those beautiful pieces of drama. It's very scary. It's very beautiful.
It's opera that has children on the stage, but it's not really a children opera.
It has children on the stage as almost victims of their own innocence. So it is extremely not for young publics. This opera is not for children. This opera is for an adult public. It treats very serious issues of child abuse. At the same time, it treats it with this desire to be able to come home to an innocence, to try to find that innocence again, to see if there's a chance of bringing it back, which is something that is so ingrained in English romanticism that even if we are not English and just in reading the literature and listening to the music, we also want to go back to that simplicity. And when he comes to that simplicity with the young children singing on stage, very complicated music, sometimes very simple music, sometimes they just sing lullabies, and it's so beautiful that we are taken in.
We have 2 children on the stage. We have 2 ghosts on the stage. We have ghosts who sing. They sing like ghosts, or they sing like normal
What is
people.
so beautiful is that the ghosts sing like normal people, because there are the whole psychological play is, are these ghosts imagined, or is it simply something that comes out of a very human unconscious? So yes, they are far away, but they sound normal, and that's what makes us as a public be attracted to them, be attracted to listening to them. These are not spooks. These are ghosts, but they're as real as we are. And their relationship with the children are very tortured and very sick, and yet somehow we understand it. We are horrified and amazed by it. We're intrigued. There's a sense of reality television in the way Britain writes this. We are watching a horrible situation in front of us, and yet we can't look away. We can't look at it, and we can't look away.
It's probably one of the few Britain operas that has a female protagonist.
Obviously, Britain was known for his love of male protagonists, and this one has the most worked out, complex female role of all Britain operas. And it's beautiful in that sense. I think the sense of male and female is also very much traded. Even though it's a woman, it's not a womanly role. It just happens to be a woman with many characteristics to her. But these are fleshed out, real human beings. The governess especially. The governess is one of the most intriguing roles in all of opera.
The Turn of the Screw is probably one of the most intriguing operas.
It's an opera that fascinates me, horrifies me, and takes me in each time. I am nothing less than obsessed by this opera.
Thank you.
Thank you.